Hello, everybody. How's it going out there? Okay, click to share broadcast live on Twitter. Oh, well, I guess, hold on a minute, guys. Let me see if I can not be retarded. Share request sent. How did I do that? Hey, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Dag Nabbit 8. Hey, how are you doing? All right, so let's get started. Great, great. Hey, what's going on, Mr. Brendan 751 whatever? Hey, what's going on? So let's get started. There's a great fucking podcast. Great podcast. Peter Thiel, Eric Weinstein. Let's talk about the end of growth. So according to these guys, we're all fucked, and there's nothing we can do about it because science is not advancing us anymore. What do you guys think about this, sir? I see there's one of you here in the chat. What do you think? So, according to Eric Weinstein and Peter Thiel is the guy that made co-founder of PayPal. Since the 1970s, we're not experiencing any more growth. So what are we going to do? I don't know what we're going to do. Personally, I don't know. I don't think it's that big a fucking deal. I guess we're all just going to have to continue about our miserable lives and try to find a little bit of cash where we can. Me, myself, a millennial of sorts, right? I guess I'm in my late 20s here. What am I doing? I'm renting a room from a relative. Got a couple of little side businesses, just making a go at it. But can't say that I'm living the dream. But maybe I am living the dream, you know? Fuck all the haters, dude. That's what I'm saying. Fuck all the haters. So, anybody out there, what are you doing? What are you doing to make money? What are you doing in the world? So, if there is no technological growth, what can we do? What can we do to make some money? You could sell water bottles. You go to Costco, buy a pack of 34, sell those bitches for $1. Makes, I don't know, what's that, 70 cents per fucking water bottle. Cash, IRS doesn't need to know about it. Just kidding. You got to report everything to the IRS. Anyway, unless anyone's got anything to say, let's move on, shall we? Anybody read Nassim Taleb? So, I am a big fan of Nassim Taleb, and I am a hater of reading modern day political news. I think most modern political news is just bullshit, right? So there's a great quote here from the Bed of Procrustes. Everybody should read. Everybody should be reading this book. And what is it? It's called. It's about. It's practical aphorisms and philosophy from Nassim Taleb. So let's go. Let's go about it here. He starts off. Well, he doesn't start off. I'm starting off. He says, to be completely cured of newspapers, spend a year reading the previous week's newspaper or newspapers. So what does that mean? I'll tell you what it means, fuckers. It means simply that if you read the previous week's newspaper, then you will find that almost everything you read is not relevant. It doesn't matter. So that's something I have come to realize recently. And I kind of got it from listening to Nassim Taleb or from reading some of his books. I guess I just got tired of all the noise, right? You know, there's just so much noise. Hold on a second. Let me fix the lighting here. I don't know if that helps. Might make it worse. Yeah, now there's a contrast here in the middle of my face. Let's see here. Is that a little better? I don't know. You can see some shit in the background. Fuck it. Anyway, so I stopped digesting like big parts of news. I talk about this a lot in a little podcast I have. And it's because it's all just so much just BS. I mean, almost everything that you read online from a major news outlet, major news publication is irrelevant. Yeah, sorry, I got some checking out my hair here. How does it look? How do I look? Good? How? Hun how? Fei Tong how? Old Chinese for you. Um, Most of it's irrelevant. If you follow the news, you know that all the shit that explodes one week is almost totally gone the next week. Um, so the one that I remember, it comes to my mind right now, is that Kyle Kashuv guy. Uh, Whenever all of his racist shit came out, all the stuff he was saying, texting, writing about black people in his Google Docs. Who the fuck does that in a group Google Doc? I don't know. Either that or somebody released it in a message. Regardless, all that shit was like big deal when it came out, right? And then turned out to be week goes by, nothing. That's how it goes. It's a waste of fucking time. I know people that follow everything that comes up on the news. They follow the speculation. They follow all the bullshit. And guess what? It just rattles around in your fucking brain. You don't learn a thing. You're better off. You know, it's funny. I got this a little bit from Nassim Taleb. You're better off just reading tabloids or reading. Oh, I think he likes reading the old mythologies, right? So, you know, things like what is it? The Iliad, right? I can't really stomach the Iliad right now. Maybe because I'm retarded, as they say in YMH land. Maybe I'm R-worded. Maybe that's the problem. But anyway, if you're reading the news on a regular basis, Fox News, CNN, Daily Wire, just stop it, dude. Stop it, man. Unless you're doing it for entertainment, you're just hurting yourself. You're better off watching Taylor's Pod, right? Taylor's Pod is where the news is at, brother. Bruh. Welcome in, bruh. That's what I should start saying. Welcome to the home of the brus, the bruh zone, the brusky zone, where we get down with the bras here. No gay, no homo, but also we're inclusive. So if you are gay, you are homo, that's fine too. Right? Let me digress, if I may, since I'm getting zero engagement. Daily Wire. I cannot stand the Daily Wire. I'm a conservative guy. I cannot stand the Daily Wire. I don't know. There's something about it. I'm slightly not a fan of Ben Shapiro anymore. His take is just too hot take-ish, right? And here's my thing. Listen up, motherfuckers. Motherfuckers, listen up. R-worded people listening to me. If you're going to have hot takes about everything Trump does, at least have them be funny. Like, at least have them just be 50% needs to be entertainment. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're going to comment on everything the guy does, there needs to be some value to it besides your bullshit prediction. Because when your prediction fails to come to fruition, like most of them will fail to do, there needs to be something worth listening to. Am I right? Yes, I'm fucking right. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Yes, I'm fucking right. So, yeah, the Daily Wire is a publication I can't get behind anymore. Also, it's the worst website I've ever seen in my life. It is so spammy. It is unbelievably spammy. There is if you go to the website, there are what is it? What am I thinking about? Oh yeah, if you go to the website, you can hardly scroll through the fucking pages because there's so many ads. I mean, I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry, brah. I know you need to make some money. I know you guys need to make some ad revenue. But fuck, man, I can't read your website, dude. Every time I try to scroll down, my fucking cursor gets stuck because there's so many fucking ads. Sorry for all the cuss words. There's so many ads. I can't even go through the website. It's a problem. Fix it. Fix it for me. I'm tired of waiting. I'm tired. Sick and tired. Okay, guys. So, I also mentioned in here, what did I mention? Oh yeah, China. What's going on with China, dudes? Bruskies? I'll tell you. Uh, what's going on with China is nothing really. There's all this news coming out that Huawei is building North Korea's wireless network, and I'm just thinking like, okay. And your point is what? I don't know. I don't know why everyone is so fucking surprised. I don't understand why everyone is so flabbergasted. I mean, this is the name of the game, bruh. This is how it goes, man. Like, read a little bit about what's going on uh, from a, from a cultural aspect. I don't know. I guess this just doesn't surprise me, right? So I do a lot of research onto Chinese initiatives like One Belt, One Road, um, and a lot of like things going on between the United States and China. I love that shit, right? I'm a weirdo like that. I also speak some Mandarin, weirdo like that, right? I guess that's a humble brag. Not so much of a humble brag now, is it? Anyway, so with all that being said, there should be no surprise. I do think some people are acting surprised, acting outraged just to spread the word. Um, but it's not surprising at all. In fact, anything, I've said so before. I'm a huge fan of the Chinese people. I have many good Chinese friends. Many, many, many. I've met so many good Chinese people in my lifetime. Now, I'm not a fan of the government, per se. Now, that's a different story. And that being said, the government is acting in their own perceived self-interest, whoever that may be, right? Whether it be a small group, whether they believe they're acting in the interest of the people as a whole, I'm not sure. But if they believe that it is a negative for the United States, if Huawei, little background, they're the biggest telecoms company in China, and they are really moving fast on 5G technology. And in addition, they are, don't know where I was going with that. But regardless, if they're working to build out North Korea's wireless infrastructure, why is that a surprise? And are we going to do anything about it? I don't know. Probably not. We tend to not, we don't do shit about anything anymore. So, but yeah, I guess you guys should all know that. It looks like also, I've mentioned in another thing that I do sometimes, it looks like that the US is going to be allowing Huawei to use Android operating system. So I don't know what's going on here. It seems like there are probably some very interconnected ties between Chinese interests and US corporate interests that are not going to allow any serious move against Huawei. That's just my opinion. Now, also, the Chinese government is working very efficiently to go around the world and secure as many resources as possible. That being said, they are still very vulnerable, but they still appear to be confident. The question is whether or not that confidence is a bluff or not. Sometimes it is a bluff. Huawei claimed they had a backup system for their cell phones. They did not. China claims that they had something in place for the fight between the U.S. and China with rare earth minerals. They probably did not. But there's probably something more going on behind the scenes. Anyway, the stuff going on with China and North Korea should be no surprise to anybody. That is business as usual. If you are surprised, you're retarded. But it's still interesting stuff. You still should know it, but you shouldn't be surprised by it. Now, let me provide you with a regular update here. This is a rollerblading free zone. You are not allowed to rollerblade here. So what I mean by that is if you are an adult, you are not allowed to rollerblade. I don't care how much you love it. That's that. It's not real exercise. You are a child. Obviously, I'm just fucking around. But for real, dude. Why are you rollerblading? Stop rollerblading. Get out and do some real exercise, man. Pick up some heavy shit, dude. Pick up some heavy shit. Move it across the yard. Move it across the room. Run. You don't need a rollerblade. Fuck. Who is rollerblading as an adult? If you're over 20 years old, if you're over 12 years old, you should not be rollerblading for exercise. Now, if you're on LSD, I shall provide an exception for you. You have my exception. You have my blessing. Now, what else is going on, guys? Motherfuckers. You are not that. Explore on Twitter. So, the Mueller hearing. What's going on with that, guys? Let's see what's going on. Now we're going to skip that. I don't really care. We'll see what comes on afterwards. Kimba. Dude. Bruh. Some serious allegations. Serious allegations against Disney. Disney apparently ripped off an old cartoon from a long time ago called Kimba, the White Lion. So plagiarism accusations from 1994 have resurfaced after the release of the new Lion King movie. Kimba, the White Lion, series in the 1960s created by Osamu Tezuka, which in many ways parallels the Disney film. I'll tell you what, guys, it is convincing. I've seen some video footage. I am now reading tweets. Tweets don't lie. Except, maybe 50, 60, 70, 80% of the time. Anyway, I mean, first off, who gives a shit? Right? I mean, who really gives a shit? I'll tell you what, I don't give a shit. But it's interesting, right? Especially, Disney being so progressive and so liberal as they are nowadays. It is kind of nice to see them eat a little bit of shit. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie on that one. That's pretty nice. But I'll tell you what, deep down in the recesses of my heart, I don't care. In fact, I'm not going to go see the Lion King movie. And, who gives a fuck? Now, what might happen is this is going to get turned into how white Western males steal everything from around the world. It's probably what it's going to get turned into. So be prepared for this social justice warriors to come out in force. Hashtag Zimzer, hashtag woke. What else is going on today, guys? Let's see. What's happening? Elizabeth Warren introduces bill to cancel $640 billion in student loan debt. We can talk about student loan debt. Why not? Interesting, right? Here's my position on student loan debt. All right, guys, it's a tricky situation. right? A lot of people were told they needed to go to college in order to get a good job. Um, and so, there's a lot of things going on here, a lot of layers of responsibility. Obviously, let's break it down. I would say if you have a moderate amount of student loan debt, I'd say light to moderate. So if you have up to 20,000 to between 20 or 30,000, I would say you could be in that zone of I thought I needed to do this, but I was careful, right? That's actually where I fell in. I had about 20 grand of student loan debt, almost all paid off now, about 4 grand left. But regardless, doable, workable, not going to kill me. So, what about the people above that threshold? So, I would say if you're at around that level, um, you have kind of an excuse, right? Because it's just high enough that it's going to kind of fuck with you, right? So if you have about 20 grand, and this is how it was for me and a lot of people, I think, if you have around 20, 30 grand of debt, you're just going to be more risk averse in your younger age, which is where you want to be less risk averse, but you're going to be more risk averse, settle for a shitty job that pays good money for that reason. Now, if you have 100 grand in debt, that's where I start to go, what fucking drugs were you on? And how much did you take? Did you take all the drugs, to borrow a line from Brendan Schaub? Did you take all the drugs or just some of the drugs? So, dude, I don't know what to tell you, man. If you did not consider if you got to 50 grand and you did not fucking bat an eye, you didn't Google that shit, you didn't YouTube that shit, you didn't Twitter, you didn't Instagram that shit, 50 grand in debt, is this a bad idea? I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know what to tell you. Like, that's the thing is, and unfortunately, those are the people that are most fucked, right? Like the guys that are in my position, yeah, it kind of sucks when you first get out of college, but it's doable. And especially if you thought about it like I did, then you're probably gonna be fine, right? If you thought like, oh, I'm taking out this much this year, I don't want to really go above this threshold. What can I do? Blah blah blah. If you're thinking about that, you're probably okay. So it's not that big a deal. But the people that really need the help are the ones that took out like 100 grand. And the problem is, it's like, should you be helped at that point? Like, dude, if you took out 100 grand in debt, I don't know, man. It's like at 75 grand, you didn't realize that might have been a problem. You know, like, what? I don't know. Here's another thing, though. If you got to 75 grand, you got to 50 grand in debt, there's probably some smart people that are going to be like telling me to fuck off. But who am I kidding? They're not listening to this. If you got to that 50 grand, 60, 70, 80, whatever, and no parental figure, no authority figure thought to warn you, that's another problem though, right? Like, why didn't a family member step in and say, hey, dude, you're studying how to mow the lawn in the most optimal way, and I can't help but realize that you're spending a lot of money to learn how to do that, and you'd be better off if you just mowed lawns. Or somebody stopped and said, listen, bruh, you're learning how to read Old English literature really well, and your critiques are spot on. They're really good and they're insightful. And even though I don't understand what they are about, because let's be honest, I don't read that kind of stuff, I trust that what you're saying means a lot. but you owe you owe you owe like 75% of a starter home. And let's face it, you could have just done the same shit in the library, like the public library. What the fuck are you doing? You know, nobody thought to have that conversation with some of these guys. So that's my thing. Personally, I actually don't want the government to eliminate my student loan debt. As fucked up as that sounds, I just feel responsible for it. The whole time I was taking out loans, I knew what I was doing to a degree, right? Like I'm not gonna, like I was 18, 19, 20, 21. I wasn't that smart. I'm not that smart now, right? Look what I'm doing. That being said, I was very conscious of like, I knew people that were taking out 100 grand in debt, and I was thinking like, dude, you're fucking retarded. I know you're an engineer, but you shouldn't even be in the school. So anyway, that's my opinion. Take that for what it's worth, and it's worth a lot, in my opinion. So anyway, I think that is about all I've got to say today, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I'm going to start uploading these to YouTube. So if you missed the broadcast, I'm not sure what the YouTube channel is going to be. I already have one, but it's pretty cluttered, right? So let's see if I can clean that up a little bit. No promises. I don't know when it's going to be up, but it will be up eventually. So we shall see. Just be patient with me, please, and excuse whatever it is I was just doing there. Anyway, guys, I don't know what to tell you. Shit's just crazy, huh? World's crazy. Remember, if you need money, go sell some water bottles. Hey, number 2, Disney sucks. Number 3, don't rollerblade, man. Shit. How many times do I have to tell you guys? Anyway, I love you all. Anybody who is listening, namaste. Lord bless you. Peace.